If you're dating someone who's really egotistical, it doesn't necessarily mean they're narcissistic. Narcissism is a true mental illness, and although it's become somewhat of a fad to call everybody who has a big ego a narcissist, it's not exactly true. I listen to colleagues, friends, and clients tell me all the time, oh my God, he was so narcissistic. But narcissistic looks really like, when you're with someone narcissistic. And many, many times it's something that is genetic, it's passed on, it's a learning behavior, whatever. There is egotistic people, and egotism looks very different than narcissism because you can tell it's a way a person was raised. It's not deep within them, but yet they need it. They need you to make them feel good about who they are. Now, the thing about an egomaniac is that the way they get their concerns or their dating needs across isn't what you would think. You'd think they'd always be front and center. But one of the main ways that they come across is their indifference. You've heard about this whole meh thing, like meh, they don't care. They have this very lackadaisical way about them, like they can't get excited or motivated enough to call you when they say they would after you meet them. You wait for days and days and they really never do call. And then when they do, it's lame. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is many people, partners, put their life on hold for this person. They'll find one little thing that they liked about this person, or maybe that this person said positive about them, and then they'll go from there. Stop doing that. This is a problem because it's never going to go anywhere for you. This person doesn't care for you. The thing about an egomaniac is they really don't care for others at all. They care about getting their ego fed. And when they act like this, they make you oftentimes jump through hoops that you have no business trying to jump through. This person is not worth it. Secondly, the guy or the woman who's used to getting a lot of attention and chased. And what's bad about that for you is if you don't play that game, they get irate. They get really mad. They're never the first to initiate getting together. They don't really care about date night. They don't really, if you're sitting down for a drink and you're expecting them to go get it for you, forget about it. They're used to being taken care of. They either will whistle at somebody who's attending the bar that night, or they'll ask you, they'll talk you into going up and getting it. What's wrong with that? If you build your life like this, your whole life with a person like this, you're going to end up being their server. You're going to end up being the big sacrificer. You're going to end up initiating everything. And I mean everything. I've seen people that marry one of these guys end up taking care of the house, the bills, the kids, everything. Because this person is too entitled or used to being taken care of to do it for you and themselves. They don't grow up. You might think it's a passing stage. It's usually not. The next, the guy or the woman who always needs to hear how great they are. Basically, they're an empty vase. When you really get down to it, they're very empty inside. They have a crack, so no matter how much you give them, it's running out of the bottom. These people constantly need your affirmation. And to get that, what they'll do is really devious. They'll bring you down. They'll say bad things about you. They'll make you insecure about who you are. If they're not getting their needs met, their whole idea is to make you realize what a great person you have. And you better watch how you're treating them because they might not stick around. Believe me, you don't need this kind of person to stick around. You need to get out of this person's way now. You need to go find somebody that will really make you feel special and loved. The last one, the guy who comes across as persistent, but they're not. The guy who keeps nagging you, and when I say guy, I mean woman too. The one who keeps after you. They're breaking you down. They keep finding your little weaknesses, what will make you come around and come in. These people get really angry when you don't do what they want. And many times, if you go on to marry them, these are the kind of people that will turn abusive. They'll become verbally abusive and sometimes physically abusive because they will tell themselves, their rhetoric is they persevered and they finally broke you down so you would marry them. They broke you down all right. They broke down your internal sense of self, confidence, and worth. And those are heavy things to pay for having this person with you in a life that's only going to create misery. When you're dating people that you see the similarity with what I'm saying, the best advice I can give you is get away. They are not going to take care of you. They're not mature enough to really have a relationship with you. And they certainly aren't mature enough to create a family that you can live, love, and embrace each other with.